She called 911, then vanished into silence. But the voice on the line wasn't hers. It was a Friday afternoon in Stamford, Connecticut, a quiet, waterfront city that rarely made national headlines. The sky that day was overcast, the sidewalks calm, the tide rhythmically brushing the shore beside Harbor Drive. At 12:13 p.m., an anonymous woman's voice crackled through a 911 call, breathless and panicked. "There's a woman being attacked at 123 Harbor Drive," she said, then abruptly corrected herself. "No. I mean 105. The caller hung up. She never gave her name. Officers responded quickly, heading to Unit 105 inside the gated luxury complex. What they found inside changed everything. The front door was locked. There were no signs of forced entry. But behind the bathroom door, Anna Lisa Raymundo lay dead, stabbed multiple times, her head bludgeoned, and her throat slashed. The scene was both brutal and strangely meticulous. The attacker hadn't ransacked the place. Nothing was missing. And there was a disturbing quiet to the crime, as if whoever had done this had entered and exited without panic. Anna Lisa was just 32 years old. She was brilliant, driven, and widely respected, a Harvard and Columbia graduate working in pharmaceutical research for Purdue Pharma. She had grown up in a close-knit Filipino-American family, had a natural curiosity about the world, and was known among friends for her self-discipline, intellect, and gentleness. At work, she was ambitious but never arrogant. Outside of work, she was private. She loved traveling, cooking, and spending quiet time at home with her cat. She didn't party. She didn't cause drama. And she didn't have enemies. Or so it seemed. Anna Lisa had been dating Nelson Sessler, a calm, mild-mannered colleague at Purdue. The relationship wasn't flashy. They weren't posting about each other on social media or flaunting vacations. But friends said she seemed happy. Nelson had even visited her apartment regularly. He was the last person expected to be linked to anything violent. But as detectives began retracing Anna Lisa's final hours, their attention turned to Nelson, specifically to a complication in his life he hadn't been open about. Nelson had also been involved with another co-worker, Sheila Davalloo. Sheila was married at the time, but few people knew. At work, she presented herself as sharp, professional, charming, even flirtatious. But beneath the surface, there was something else. Something darker. Sheila had been seeing Nelson casually before he started dating Anna Lisa. And when she realized that he had grown more serious with Anna Lisa, something inside her shifted. It wasn't just jealousy. It was obsession. Sheila began watching Nelson more closely. When he left the office, who he called, what he said. She fabricated stories. She created a fictional drama to manipulate him emotionally. She told him that her brother was dating a woman named Melissa, who was having an affair with someone named Jack. She claimed Jack was cheating on Melissa with a woman named Anna Lisa. The narrative was completely invented. But it wasn't random. It was calculated. She was planting the name Anna Lisa into Nelson's psyche, cloaking her own jealousy inside a make-believe story so convoluted that he wouldn't see the manipulation. She even printed fake emails between these made-up characters to show Nelson. And Nelson, confused but trusting, never imagined the danger he was in, or the danger his girlfriend was in. While Anna Lisa continued her relationship with Nelson, she remained unaware of Sheila's growing fixation. But Sheila was watching her. At one point, Sheila tried to access HR records to confirm Anna Lisa's address. She monitored her schedule. And she planned. The morning of November 8, 2002, Anna Lisa stayed home from work. She wasn't feeling well. Around noon, someone knocked on her door. What happened in the next few minutes is still unclear, but what's known is this: Anna Lisa let her killer inside. There were no signs of struggle in the living room, which suggested she wasn't immediately alarmed. But in the bathroom, she was attacked, bludgeoned, and stabbed. Moments before the attack, a 911 call was made. The voice on the line sounded urgent, but not completely panicked. A woman is being attacked at 123, no, 105, Harbor Drive, the caller said. Then she hung up. That mistake, the slip between the wrong and correct address, would later become a key detail. At first, the investigation moved slowly. Nelson was cooperative. Sheila was quiet. The trail grew cold. But everything changed the following year, in 2003, when Sheila's obsession turned even more dangerous. On March 23, 2003, Sheila lured her husband, Paul Christos, into a supposed trust game. She blindfolded him, handcuffed him to their bed, and stabbed him in the chest, twice. As he bled and begged for help, she called 911 and claimed it was a kitchen accident. But Paul survived. He was rushed to the hospital, and while recovering, he told police what had really happened. Sheila was arrested and charged with attempted murder. That case alone would have been chilling. But investigators in Stamford suddenly had a reason to take a second look at Anna Lisa's death. The similarities were too strange to ignore. Both victims had been attacked at home, caught off guard. Both cases involved close, personal betrayal. And Sheila's connection to Nelson, along with her obsessive behavior, resurfaced as a major lead. Detectives re-examined the 911 call from November 2002. Voice experts compared it with Sheila's voice from prison phone calls. The cadence, the pitch, the slight accent, everything matched. More evidence surfaced. On the bathroom sink handle at Anna Lisa's apartment, trace DNA had been found. At the time, it had been partial, insufficient for a definitive match. But with advancements in forensic analysis, the profile was retested. The results pointed to Sheila Davalloo. Suddenly, the puzzle came together. The fabricated love triangle. The stalking. The 911 call. The attack on her husband. The web of deception and obsession had led to a calculated murder. And Sheila had nearly gotten away with it. In 2012, 10 years after the crime, Sheila was officially charged with the murder of Anna Lisa Raymundo. She was transported from prison in New York to stand trial in Connecticut. The courtroom was tense. What made it even more surreal was that Sheila chose to represent herself. She cross-examined former co-workers. She questioned her ex-husband, Paul. She challenged investigators. She delivered long, rambling monologues about her innocence. But the evidence was clear. Prosecutors presented the 911 call analysis. They laid out the DNA findings. They walked jurors through her lies, her manipulation, and her calculated plan to remove the woman she viewed as an obstacle. The verdict: guilty. Sheila Davalloo was sentenced to 50 years in prison, to be served after her 25-year sentence for attempted murder. But for Anna Lisa's family, no sentence could undo the loss. Her parents described her as a daughter who never caused trouble, who worked hard, called home regularly, and dreamed of making a difference in global healthcare. Her friends remembered how she listened more than she spoke, how she laughed quietly, and how she never let success make her cold. At work, people mourned the loss of not just a colleague, but a leader. She had been mentoring young professionals, working on new drug research, and planning a trip with Nelson before her life was taken. And Nelson, though never charged with wrongdoing, was shattered. In court he sat silent. His presence was a reminder that he, too, had been manipulated, lied to, and used. He'd unknowingly stood between two women, one who loved him and one who wanted to own him. What makes the case of Anna Lisa Raymundo so haunting isn't just the brutality of the murder. It's the coldness of the motive. It wasn't rage in the heat of the moment. It wasn't self-defense. It was a plan. A long, deliberate, calculated plan born from obsession. Sheila Davalloo wanted what Anna Lisa had. When she couldn't have it, she eliminated her. And then went back to work, back to life, pretending nothing had happened. The system caught her, but slowly. It took another attempted murder, a brave survivor, and years of revisiting the past to uncover the truth. This wasn't just a case of jealousy. It was about control. About the terrifying masks some people wear, calm, polite, educated, while hiding a capacity for destruction. And it leaves behind a question we still haven't fully answered. How many red flags go unnoticed when they don't look like violence? When they look like intelligence, success, or even friendship? Anna Lisa Raymundo should have lived. She should have built her career, traveled the world, found love, raised children, taught others. She should have had more birthdays, more holidays with her family, more quiet nights cooking dinner in her apartment. But instead, her life was stolen by someone she barely knew, someone who had studied her, envied her, and ultimately destroyed her. We tell stories like this not to sensationalize, but to remember, to honor the victim, to understand the warning signs, and to face the unsettling reality that evil doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers, sometimes it smiles, sometimes it calls 911 pretending to be a witness, and sometimes it walks among us in a lab coat, a corporate badge, or a kind voice at work. Anna Lisa left behind more than evidence. She left behind a legacy of excellence, of integrity, of quiet strength. And she left behind a warning that control, not love, kills. That lies, not passion, fuel violence. That we must listen more closely, not just to what people say, but to what they do when they think no one is watching. Because someone was watching Anna Lisa. And she never knew how close the danger was. In the end, the question isn't how Sheila fooled everyone. The question is, how do you stop a killer when the killer wears a smile? Until next time, stay safe and stay aware.